All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty amazing, the incredible and, kind of surprising connection between our internal body clocks and bipolar disorder. We're going to explore how the simple daily rhythms of life might just hold a powerful key to stability. So let's just kick things off with a big question. What if the key to managing bipolar disorder isn't just about what's going on in our minds, our thoughts and emotions, but is actually rooted in something as fundamental as the timing of our daily lives? To even start to unpack that question, we've got to meet the main character in this whole story, the body clock. And as we're about to see, for many people with bipolar disorder, this internal clock is, well, it's consistently out of sync. Okay, so at the very core of this, you have what are called circadian rhythms. That name, it literally comes from the Latin circa diem, which means about a day. You can think of it like your body's own internal conductor, this 24-hour metronome that keeps everything in time, from our hormones to our behavior, and most definitely our sleep. Now, here's the thing. This clock doesn't tick the same way for everybody. We all have a natural preference, right? It's called a chronotype. And it's what makes you either a morning person or an evening person. And this is where the research points to something really fascinating. There is a consistent, notable tendency for people with bipolar disorder to lean towards eveningness, preferring to be active much later in the day. And here's what's absolutely crucial to understand. This isn't just some temporary glitch that pops up during a mood episode. It's constant. The research really drives this home, that even during stable times, what doctors call euthemic periods, these rhythm disturbances are still there. They're a core underlying feature of the disorder itself. And that persistence, that constancy, it leads us right into one of science's classic puzzles, the ultimate chicken or the egg question. And here's the puzzle. Which one comes first? Does having a body clock that's, well, totally out of whack make you more vulnerable to bipolar disorder? Or is it the other way around? Does the disorder itself grab hold of a person's natural rhythms and just throw them into chaos? And it turns out the answer is an A or B. It's both. Yeah, they actually feed each other. It creates this really powerful reinforcing loop. On one side, the science shows that these rhythm problems can be a predictor, showing up years before a diagnosis. Then, once the disorder is there, it makes the rhythm problems even worse, which then makes future mood episodes more likely. It's a true vicious cycle. And if you're wondering just how strong that link is, well, check this out. One huge meta-analysis found that having these rhythm disturbances beforehand is associated with a 40% increased risk for developing bipolar disorder down the line. That's not a small correlation. That is a huge signal. Okay, so we have this cycle, but what's actually going on inside the body on a biological level? To figure that out, we really need to pop the hood and take a look at the biological wiring that connects our internal clock to our mood. So it really breaks down into three key areas. First up, genetics. We all have these things called clock genes. That's their real name, and variations in them are linked to being more susceptible to the disorder. Then you've got your neurotransmitters, the chemicals that regulate mood like serotonin. Their levels aren't flat. They go up and down on a daily circadian pattern. And third, you have hormones, like melatonin for sleep and cortisol for stress, which are also tightly controlled by the same clock. And this quote from the source material really just ties it all together perfectly. When that serotonin rhythm gets messed up, it lowers the brain's ability to handle stressors, like not getting enough sleep. See what that means? The whole system just becomes more fragile, less able to keep mood on an even keel. Okay, so if a wonky rhythm is a huge part of the problem, it only makes sense that fixing it has to be a huge part of the solution, right? And that's exactly where this new, really empowering wave of treatments comes in. And this has led to a really cool shift in how we think about treatment. Instead of only going after the mood symptoms you can feel, there's this new wave of therapies. They're called chronotherapies, and they focus directly on that underlying rhythm. The idea is to build stability from the ground up, literally by resetting the body's clock. And get this is so cool. Light itself can be used like medicine. But what's really wild is how it's used. For depressive episodes, a timed, specific dose of bright light in the morning has shown amazing results. We're talking a remission rate of over 68%. But for mania, you do the complete opposite. You use blue light blocking glasses at night to create virtual darkness, which helps calm the entire system down. And it's not just about light. There are some really powerful behavioral therapies too. There's one called interpersonal and social rhythm therapy, or IPSRT, and it's all about helping people build these rock-solid, stable daily routines. Then there's a specialized CBT for insomnia, to help rewire anxious thoughts about sleep. And what's really fascinating is that even a classic medication like lithium, well, it's now understood to be doing double duty. It doesn't just stabilize mood, it helps regulate the body's clock too. So, if our rhythm is this critical, how in the world do we actually track it? Well, this is where modern tech steps in, and it's allowing us to see something like a person's unique health signature. The fancy, cutting-edge term for this is digital phenotyping. And I know, it sounds super futuristic, but the idea is actually pretty straightforward. It's all about using the data from the devices we carry around every single day, our phones, our watches, to create this objective digital signature of our health by measuring patterns in sleep, activity, and even our social interactions. So to get that clear picture, clinicians use some specific tools. You've got established questionnaires like the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, which is sort of a deep dive into how you feel your sleep quality is. But now we also have these hyper-specialized tools, like one called Brian, which is designed to assess the entire spectrum of a person's rhythms in bipolar disorder, from sleep and activity to social life and even eating patterns. It's incredibly comprehensive. So where does all this leave us? You know, it brings us to a pretty profound final thought. If our daily rhythm really is a signature of our health, a unique fingerprint of our well-being, what is yours telling you? It's a powerful idea to chew on, that for so many, stability isn't just a state of mind, but a state of rhythm. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.